Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dimwit Criminals. My name is Carrie, and I'll be your host for the day. Today, we're going to look at Mr. Darrell Brooks, who is especially scrappy on day 12 of his trial. So let's dive in.
And charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any other facts in the charging instruments.
Blah, 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 blah.
Record should reflect that the individual known to this court as Darrell Brooks is present in person in custody in street clothing, wearing a suit and tie and a mask.
For the record,
today.
I do not consent to being called that name, Your Honor.
Whatever.
All right,
We still
and
have yet to address subject matter jurisdiction.
the court
for
has
the
addressed
record.
it for the record.
They have addressed it. I have it on one of our lives where she did address it in court, and she's going to tell you here what he did with it.
So we
For the
will
record,
be,
has it been proven?
Mr. Brooks, I stand by the written decision that I issued in this case last week. A second
what written
copy was
decision are you
provided. Please
referring
don't
to?
interrupt me. A second copy was provided to you. I know you saw it because you tore it up yesterday. So I'm not going to address it any further.
Are you
You are
talking about
mistaken and wrong about the law that it needs to be verified or proven.
Are you talking about the paper I accepted in return for value?
So with
Accepted
that,
for value in
I
return for
believe,
value?
Oh, my gosh.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to
His rant, his little sayings are so stupid, or he doesn't even understand what he's saying. He doesn't even understand how to word it.
continue with this trial, whether you believe jurisdiction has been proven or
It has
not.
not been proven for the record.
And it has. So
It has
with
not.
that, Detective
And it has.
Carpenter was on the stand,
And it needs to be proven
and I
per the prosecution.
would like to have
You guys know that she wants to build like a little punching bag. You know those little punching bags they at the gym they hang down, for the boxers? She would put his face on one and just go at it. Don't you think? She probably would need to stay sane throughout this trial.
him brought back up unless there's any other issues the parties wish the court to address from the state.
I did want to address something briefly.
Go ahead.
As the court knows from our short discussions yesterday, the state will be playing a couple videos of the defendants and his statements. The court had previously heard those as part of a motion hearing, and I'm not sure if I'm really giving the defendant notice or what I'm doing, but I really tried hard, and I'm pulling out snippets from this because if the court recalls, there are a lot of references that the defendant makes to prior domestics with Erica, his prior record, things that the court had previously excluded. So
they're
I'm going
trying not to
through
bring
and
in.
I am pulling specific time ranges from this so that nothing that was previously ruled inadmissible comes in. And I guess, obviously, this defendant has the absolute right to cross-examine the witness. He has the right, and we've offered, and we have been putting exhibits up for
And
him.
the state has graciously indicated they would assist once again in replaying portions of that video. I don't need a response from you unless you feel you would
I
like
don't
to
really
give a
want one.
response to any of that.
With all due respect, they're the ones that want to play the video. So
Oh
I
my
don't understand how I'm the one opening the door.
He
They
did.
chose to play the video, so
They're trying to tell you they're not going to be
They're
playing
not going to
certain.
play the entire video, though. They're going to redact out, probably stop, fast forward, the portions that this court said would be inadmissible. What I'm telling you is, if you want any portions replayed, then, or if you ask for the entire video to be played under the rule of completeness, that you have an understanding that you would be opening the door to the evidence of other acts coming in. Potentially, I'll have to rule on it at that time. But, so be mindful of the timestamps.
I don't understand it, Your Honor. That's almost like you making a ruling and then it not having any standing.
Oh my
If
God.
you already made a
The
ruling.
ruling's against them. I told the state they can't offer this evidence.
Right,
They're
that's
the
what I'm
one.
saying.
So if you offer the evidence or ask questions that would open the door, that's a different story. And we all have treaded lightly when you've asked questions that would have opened the door to the
And when you have opened the door and served that platter up, the prosecution has taken full advantage of it.
Variety of witnesses. So the state's just simply saying, look, we're going to do our job. We're not going to put in the other act's evidence. We're going to pause the video, fast forward the appropriate spots. But if you want any portions replayed, or if you ask for the entire video to be played, then you do that at your peril of having those other acts' evidence come in. So that's all I want to tell you. As far as the jury instruction, do you have any position on whether that second, well, I shouldn't say second, it's the very last paragraph where it says, add the following if appropriate.
I mean, it was just stated that the witness doesn't speak very good English. And so that would
Once again, he's waiting to the last minute to
indicate
read
that it
it.
would be a lot more work for the interpreter to make
That's
sure.
not what I'm asking you about,
Oh
sir.
my
I'm asking
gosh.
whether you have a position on whether I include the very last paragraph of that
Darrell,
instruction to the jury.
No, I don't feel like that needs to be read to the jury.
Of course
I
he's
think
going to
it's
say no
pretty-
and be
It's pretty
difficult.
clear from all the language leading up to that.
He doesn't
How
even
do you
know what
know
he's
exactly
saying.
what words the witness will be able to understand in English versus?
That's not how the interpretation works. The questions are in English, they're interpreted in Spanish to the witness. The witness will answer, presumably in Spanish, and then the witness's words will be interpreted in English, and it's the English, as this instruction says, that is the evidence.
You would notice if you watch this trial all the way through, there were days that he was just, you could tell what kind of mood he was in because he'd come in with his defense, his little wall up, and everything was grounds. And well, he said grounds on everything, but I mean, he literally was just like, every time he got the chance to throw a shot at the judge or throw a shot at the prosecution, he would. And this was one of those days where he was on his tiptoes, is like I would like to say.
I think it's a little unfair that prosecution has had conversations with the witness and I haven't, considering that it's my witness.
They run the state's witness list as well, I believe. So it's fair for either party to reach out, and if witnesses want to talk to either party in preparation, that's frankly fair game.
So how would I be able to reach out to a witness?
Mr. Brooks, you are representing yourself. That obviously poses some challenges and difficulties, but that is the state and stage that we are at. So with that, I know we'll get to.
I think at this point in the trial, she was so sick of this and what he was pulling. Because at the beginning, she would tell him, well, we went over that when you decided to represent yourself. We went through all these things and said these were where you were going to have challenges. And you said, no, I definitely want to represent myself. Now she's at the point to where she doesn't even go into all that. She's just like, Mr. Brooks, just whatever. I can't believe he didn't say, I don't want to be called that name right there. But he let her call him that.
Detective Carpenter on the stand. He can come up and be out here when the jury comes out. So come on up, sir. I will swear you in again, as is my practice when there's a witness on the stand for a second
I
day.
have one more thing real quick.
He's not done.
Well, it needs to be other than subject matter jurisdiction, so what is it?
You didn't even let me get to it.
I said, what is it? I said it needs to be something other than subject matter jurisdiction.
Can I get to
You can
it?
say.
There's no way to know what I'm going to say if I can't say it.
Mr. Brooks, please tell me what it is you'd like to address.
I want to address why my ICFs have not been addressed. 'Cause
Oh,
I know
this
you
is
have 'em.
crazy.
Why have I not gotten copies? I've gotten copies of every other ICF. Why not the recent ones?
Sir, I am not going to be the intermediary anymore for ICFs that are directed to the clerk of court regarding copies.
That's not explaining why.
Okay, so if you missed out on it, in the beginning, she was trying to help him as much as she possibly could. She was, I guess, helping with some of the forms and stuff that he had to file with the court. And so she would make sure that, she was bringing these files into the court and handing them to him personally. And otherwise, he has to go through the system, through the jail. He passes them along through this little, trail of wherever it needs to go to get to the right place. But she was going that extra mile. And then he turned around and held it against her at one point and said that she was the reason he wasn't getting him. So then she threw her hands up and said, I'm not helping you anymore. If you want to file something, you file it with the clerk. Don't go through me. I'm out of it. And here he is now bringing it up again.
I haven't.
I'm not the
even been
keeper of
told
the record,
if
so
they've
if there's
been
something
received.
you want me to address, then you should address your ICF to me and not the clerk of court.
Well, where is the ICF?
Sir,
If I sent it, I
I
should be
am
able to get a
not-
copy. I've gotten copies of every single one.
You need
whether
to
they were
ask
addressed,
for that from the clerk
whether
of
they
court.
were addressed to you or whether they were addressed to the clerk of courts. I've always
I'm not going to
been
address that
told.
further, Mr. Brooks. I'm not going to be the intermediary when
So
you
what's
have
the-
questions to the clerk of court.
So
for
what's the
copies
point of me
these
sending the
documents.
ICF, me doing what you asked me to do, and sending them, and then not being able to know if they've even been received and get a copy of them, which I've been getting
If
copies
you
of
did
them
not
ever
ask
since.
for a copy of the ICF, they don't have any obligation to
I
send that out to you.
addressed it when I first sent it. I asked you on the record, did you receive it?
Mr. Brooks,
You
I
said-
didn't receive anything because nothing has been sent to me.
Well,
So
where's the
if there's
ICF?
something that you need, then you should reach back out to the clerk of court.
shouldn't have to do
But we're
that
not
if I
gonna
sent
take
it.
up court time regarding an ICF sent to the clerk of court.
Wasting
Again, I will
everybody's
advise you,
time.
once again, I did this the other day, if there's something
Constantly.
case-related, it needs to be addressed to me. If it has to do with the record, it needs to go to the clerk of court.
And it was
Because I am
sent to the
not
clerk of court.
the
But I still should be,
custodian.
able to be told if it was received and get a copy, which you've done that before.
Not her
every single
problem.
ICF.
And I told you I
So why
would
does
no
it change?
longer be doing that, sir, because of this very issue. It
So you
takes
say,
up
so
court
now it
time.
changes, all of a sudden?
No, it didn't change all of a sudden, sir, and you know that.
All of a
so
sudden.
don't
No,
try to
no,
confuse
does
the
it change
record.
all of a
New
sudden?
word.
Because
All
I've
of
been
a
getting
suddenly.
copies of everything I've sent, which is what you asked me to
This
do.
change-
Oh, we gotta play that
So now it
back.
changes all of a sudden?
No, it didn't change all of a sudden, sir, and you know that, so don't try to
No,
confuse the
does it
record.
change all of a sudden? Because I've been getting copies of everything I've sent, which is what you asked me to
This
do.
changed last week, and you know
It
that.
shouldn't change.
So
No, I
with
don't
that,
know.
I'm bringing the jury out, and I'm not addressing this issue,
So
sir.
I want
We're
the
gonna
copy of
continue
my
forward.
ICS that I send.
Send a request to the
I don't
clerk's
have to send
office.
her another request. Where's the one that I just sent last week?
All right, the jury is going to come out, so please be respectful.
I will, but at the same time, you still have to, I did what you asked me to do. If you tell me to do something and I do it, and then now you're saying I'm not gonna get a copy, which you've been providing them ever since you told me to do it.
Ugh.
Mr. Brooks, the rules on that changed last week.
No, it did not. I'm still supposed to be able to say if it's been received or not. So why should I have to send multiple ICFs to even know if they've been received? That's ridiculous, Your
I'm
Honor.
going to give the parties the final version of jury instruction 60, which I will be reading at the
That's-
appropriate time.
Come on, you can't change stuff at the last minute. You
No,
asked me
Mr.
to do
Brooks, I
something.
did it as a courtesy,
You
and
act-
frankly,
no.
you're not courteous
I'm
to
not,
me.
I'm not
So
even,
the
I'm
jury's
not even,
coming out.
I'm not even
The
referring
record
to
should
that.
reflect that the
I'm
jury
referring
is
to the
coming
fact, I'm
out.
referring to the fact that you haven't even
Mr.
had enough
Brooks,
respect to tell me
please
it's
be
been
respectful to
received.
the jury. They're coming out.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to tell me if my ICF has been received. ICFs that you told me to submit. You told me that.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will
Why
disregard
doesn't he
the
get it?
commentary by Mr.
I
Brooks
accept for
at this
value in
point.
return for value this document. Just like you've been hiding everything from the jury that they
The
need to
jury
use.
will disregard. The court is not hiding anything from the
Yeah,
jury.
yeah, you are.
So,
Yeah, you
Mr.
are.
Brooks, please be respectful of the jury. They're
And you
coming
should- you
out.
should be respectful of
We
what
are,
you asked
you are
me to do.
addressing issues that are not related to evidence
They
in this
are.
case.
You asked me to do
Mr.
something, I
Brooks,
do it,
please.
and
All
then
right.
now it changes.
Everyone can be seated. Thank you.
This is ridiculous. Just like subject matter jurisdiction hasn't been proved. Just like you're making judicial determinations that you don't have to prove anything by law,
Hold on.
which is a tacit agreement by you, Your Honor.
Ladies
Tag
and
it.
gentlemen of the jury, please disregard the statements currently
Why? 'Cause
being
it's true?
made by Mr. Brooks.
Oh
Why?
my
'Cause it's true?
goodness.
Incorrect statements of the law. They
And
are
prove
not
that they're
evidence
incorrect. Prove.
in this case.
Where's the proof? Where's the legal proof?
And you need to disregard them.
Because you don't have it.
And we are
Don't
going to
have legal
continue
proof.
with testimony, Mr. Brooks. I warn
I
you,
don't-
do
I don't-
not interrupt.
I
or
don't
we
identify
will
by
have
that
a
name.
discussion about whether you will continue to be here.
You guys think that he just doesn't understand or that he just refuses to understand? See, part of me thinks that he could see it and he just automatically says, "No, I'm not. I'm going to be difficult. I'm going to do this to be difficult. I don't want to see it. I want it my way or the highway."
I don't
All right.
consent to being called that name for the record.
Detective Carpenter, please stand, as is my practice when a witness is on the stand for a second day to be sworn in again. Go ahead, Teresa. Please raise your right
Lie
hand.
to the jury.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And just for the record, please state your name for day two.
Detective Jay Carpenter, Jaycarpenter.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, you may continue.
Sir,
This is the
yesterday when
cop
we
that
ended the day,
interviewed
we were at the point where we were talking about you interviewing the defendant Darrell Brooks on November 21st, 2021 at approximately 11 o'clock PM. Do you recall that?
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name for the record.
Objection is overruled.
Yes, I do
Grounds
recall
for
that.
overruled.
Not relevant.
Yeah, it is relevant.
Your Honor, at this point, or I think last night, we asked for State's Exhibit 81 to be admitted into evidence, which is the defendant's statement provided to Detective Carpenter and Detective Stern on November 21st of last year.
And Exhibit 81 is received, permission to publish is granted.
Objection.
My notes reflect that it's 25 minutes.
That is correct.
They don't even acknowledge some of his objections.
Let me get the exact time of it.
Objection, I didn't provide any statement on the 21st.
Jury will disregard the statement by Mr. Brooks. He is not testifying, therefore his statements are not evidence.
And my objection should be noted for the record.
So that's it. I just wanted to do a piece of it. And let you guys have a little bit of a laugh. Scrappy it was in full force. I have more videos that I'm going to be sharing with you guys on some previous things that I'd worked on with commentary, and be looking for those soon. If you're missing anything from my channel, if you're seeing a video that's no longer there, it's because I'm having to take everything down, re-upload it with commentary, hoping that it will please YouTube. So bear with me as I go through this transition. Thank you always for supporting my channel. If you'd like to do more to support our channel, all you have to do is hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, click that bell. Otherwise, that bell's not going to let you know when we upload something new. And if you want to go above and beyond that to say thank you, I do have at the top of my channel a little button where you can push that says buy me a coffee. I don't drink Starbucks, sorry. I'm a Dunkin' Donuts drinker. I love coffee. I can't drink weak coffee, but Dunkin' Donuts does it for me. Everyone have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon.